What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another video and my first proper game review. I have been excited to be able to get these out to you, so please let me know down below if you do enjoy the video. These videos, when I can do them, because my god am I terrible at finishing games, will cover visuals, audio and story in that order with a touch on gameplay. So without further ado, we will jump straight into it. The much anticipated sequel to Bungie's MMO FPS hybrid launched this week, and social media has basically been drowning in updates, walkthroughs and just general social media coverage. So is Destiny 2 a triumphant attempt at an epic story, or is it just another chance for them to not have time to explain? Hopefully I will be able to explain which one today for you. So, Destiny 2, tons of guns, a morally undecisive antagonist and some great dance emotes. First up, visuals.
Battle stations! Everyone with me, now!
We need to find Zavala, Ikora, and Cayde.
Now, if there was one thing that I think most people can agree that the first Destiny got right, it was the graphical prowess on show. Stunning vistas, impressive animations, and frankly, beautiful skyboxes. It's no real surprise that Destiny 2 looks stunning at the best of times and just great the rest of the time. I, like many others, weren't too sure if the extra hardware available to Bungie would or even could be utilised properly, and the answer is an astounding yes. I'm reviewing this on Xbox One, and it's obvious as soon as you spawn in and start running around as to what the new console hardware is indeed capable of, with particle effects, environmental elements, and just general scale of the new levels really coming into play from the off. Bungie claimed that cinematics would be a big part of their new entry into this universe, and they certainly weren't underselling that at all.
You don't. Welcome to a world without light.
Things must be worse than I thought. And that's our cue. Time to go, people!
But wait, where are you all going?
As far away from here as possible.
Empire nearly destroyed by Callus's greed and corruption. There is nothing in this universe greater than you.
With one or two scenes cropping up basically every main mission, the team behind them definitely deserved plaudits. Everything from the cinematography all the way to the animation is really terrifically well done. And at times I did indeed forget I was playing a game and genuinely looked forward to the next one, which is exactly what you want from your story-based cinematics. It's not all perfect though. On Xbox I suffered intermittent frame drops in massive fights, more likely due to the lighting effects and the particle effects required for these massive team fights, with all the abilities of each Guardian in your fire team coming out to play. And while these frame drops only happened a handful of times over the whole 12 to 13 hour single player experience, it was still enough to really pull me out of the action a little bit and just stand back and go, what the fuck happened there? Aside from that, there were a couple of graphical glitches, bodies floating in midair and the such, but nothing too bad, and definitely nothing that can't be fixed by a patch or two. It's worth noting that I didn't have any of these issues in PvP arenas, and I can just about imagine that they won't happen at all on the PC version of the title. Overall, Destiny 2 is a stunning game that will quite regularly drop jaws and maybe even make you forget that you're sitting in your living room munching on sweets and gulping down Red Bull like it's your lifeblood. And in all honesty, what more can you ask for a game such as Destiny? Next up is sound, and we'll cover music, voice acting, and a bit of everything else in that order.
These Guardians. They had no chance without their powers. It's that Falcon again. Is it following us? Or are we following it?
Ikora! The speaker is gone. Red Team, you will take
no more from us, and you will find no mercy in me! Zavala.
She'll find the speaker. We need to move on that command ship.
Zavala, picked up that Guardian you never showed up about?
Get them on that command ship, now!
Hold on back there!
To say that Bungie have a pedigree in good sound design would be slightly understating it, and where music does come in, Halo is perhaps one of the finest examples in modern gaming, and in gaming in general, ever. While you won't find any of the pounding rock anthems or soaring guitar leads that are found in Halo, Destiny 2 offers one of the best general soundtracks in recent years, especially within the FPS or MMO genres. The opening segments of the game offer so much quality and just breadth of music that me and my friends actually openly commented on how good and well suited the music was to the moments and to the cinematography and just the epic scale that you are participating in, and we're all genuinely quite hard to please, so that's a good sign. Emotive music fills much of the first few hours of the campaign, and these more musical pieces slowly evolve into more dramatic and epic operatic pieces to really fill out and help support the sense of progression throughout the story.
The shield generator should be straight ahead.
Guardian, the light is gone.
Soundtracks are best when they uplift the world and events happening around the player, and Destiny 2 does this almost flawlessly. That being said, I still find it odd and really jarring and frankly a little bit lazy when the music dies out after clearing an area or defeating a boss and similar such situations. It's obviously that way to give you a sense of victory and completion, but I can't help but feel it would have been better to just mellow the music out into some backdrop rather than eliminating it entirely. But maybe that's just me. Overall, a near perfect execution on the music. Next up is voice acting.
Maybe it's just the storm. Maybe it's... What are the set feeds telling us?
Nothing.
Well, that's good, right?
No. I mean, they're not there. There are no satellites.
And that's not good.
Hey, tower approach. This is City Hawk 723. Anyone home? No response on any channels, even the emergency frequencies. What is going on back there?
Okay, my ghost keeps tagging these Cabal as Red Legion. Ikora, what do you got?
They're elite, ruthless, and rumor is they have never known defeat.
Until today. Today they face Guardians.
But Zavala, they're attacking the Traveler.
The Traveler waits. We protect our people at any cost.
Voice acting in the first Destiny was sketchy at best and downright laughable at worst, so one could be forgiven for not expecting much coming into its sequel. I have to wonder what changed between games. Maybe Bungie decided to pay more, or maybe they just hired a new scriptwriter, but for the most part, voice acting is pretty damn fine across the board. Cayde 6 returns, voiced by the terrific Nathan Fillion, and most of the humour does come from that side of the cast, and is delivered perfectly throughout the whole game, and his voicing and the quality of his voice acting is arguably the high point.
Cayde,
Hey, you two, give me a sec. Zavala's doing the hero thing in the plaza. Me? I've got a date with whoever's behind this. It'll be a short date.
But it is closely contested by the voice of the villain, Ghoul. Delivering a guttural but emotively violent persona, Ghoul has rightly brought comparisons to Tom Hardy's Bane portrayal.
Do not look at me, creature. You are weak, undisciplined, cowering behind walls. You're not brave. You've merely forgotten the fear of death. Do you see, traveler, all that I have done? Grace me with your light. Take your place at the center of my empire. See me, and the Red Legion will be your true guardians.
But for all that aside, the voicing and writing for this character brings an unexpected level of understanding between hero and villain, something that never happened in the first Destiny with Crota or Oryx or any other villain in the game, and something that quite often doesn't happen in FPS games in general. The best villain in a game is one that is almost understandable, that can be related to, whether it be Handsome Jack from Borderlands, Tartarus from Halo, and many others besides. Ghoul achieves this so well, and that does deserve special plaudits, in my opinion. Across the rest of the characters, voicing is generally quite good. Nolan North delivers a classically good performance as the Ghost, not stunning, but good nonetheless. A special consideration goes to Failsafe, a certain AI that you do meet later in the game, and she really contributes to the overall humour well, taking some of the slack from Cayde. I'd include a few clips, but for the sake of avoiding spoilers, I feel it's safer to just not. Overall, a good job on voice with a few standouts, but yet again, I could have really have done with far less of Zavala's heroic speeches or just him talking at all, because really, he's a bit awful, I'm going to be frank. For the rest of the sound design, Destiny 2 does deliver really well, with environmental sounds making you feel very involved, enemy screams, especially from the Cabal and the Hive, sounding incredibly realistic and detailed in the layering, and the weapons all sounding very nice. Spatial sound is very well done as well, and I had no trouble telling where enemies were on the left or the right hand side of my Logitech headset, so that gets top marks from me. It's a tremendous compliment to say that I only experienced one audio glitch throughout the whole story campaign, and it literally lasted seconds. So overall, sound design gets top marks from me, and I'm extremely critical of this department usually, so do make of that what you will.
Your kind never deserve the power you were given. I am Ghoul, and your light is mine.
Next up, a little bit on both the story and general gameplay. Destiny 2 follows the story of your Guardian once again, but this time around does a great job of getting the peripheral characters really involved in the general plot and lore, rather than just kind of leaving them out or just plain not even explaining them, as it was in the first game. You become basically the sole saviour of both the Traveller and the inhabitants of the Tower and planet Earth through various mishaps at the start of the game, which I won't spoil for you because I'm a G. This, however, doesn't feel cliched because of the fact that the other characters are so involved in the story. It doesn't feel just down to you, which is a very important part in a sci-fi epic, something the first Destiny completely failed to understand, no matter what the cause was. I've already talked about Ghoul's voice acting, but generally, as a character and villain, he's very well crafted, and perhaps more fleshed out than any of the villains in the first game, although that doesn't take much effort. Next up, we'll have a little chat about the gameplay. No one ever said that the gameplay in the first game was bad. In fact, for many people, it was the only redeeming feature. Destiny 2 doesn't change much here rightly, except the usual offering of more abilities, more weapons, and more customization options, but instead seeks to improve on the mechanics of the game. You may remember that Destiny 1 was a horrible horrible grindfest on release, wading through endless useless drops to the point where you were drowning in greens and camping a cave in order to increase your RNG drops just through sheer perseverance. Destiny 2 solves this and practically throws gear at you from the get-go. You actually get your hands on exotics and legendaries at a lower level than you would expect, and the full experience is open from the start rather than all the good stuff being at the end, so really good job there. Basically, if you enjoyed the gameplay of Destiny 1, you will enjoy the gameplay of Destiny 2. It's basically the same. It feels amazing to run around. It feels amazing to shoot the guns. You feel godly when you're using your super, and everything is just fun. If, however, in the first game you enjoyed the gameplay but not all the story on offer, I would say that Destiny 2 is a wholesale improvement in that entire area from the first game. I will say that I can't comment on PvP, the Crucible, at this time as I haven't played a lot of it, and I may release a PvP review later on down the line for that area of the game once Trials of Osiris and people with better gear start just cropping up in my games. Finally, we're going to talk about my verdict for Destiny 2. Destiny 2 takes the best things of vanilla Destiny, the best things from year 1, 2 and 3 of Destiny, and then melds it all together and throws in far more story and character development than I ever expected. Can I recommend it to fans of the first game? Absolutely. If you enjoyed Destiny 1, there is no reason not to like this new installment, as it is in no way worse than the first game at all. Can I recommend it to people that didn't like the first game? Well, that depends. If you don't like the grinding, then you may find that the 15 to 20 hours you can get out of the immediate game and story maybe isn't worth it for you. If you didn't like the story, but loved all the gameplay of Destiny 1, I'd say give it a go, because the story in Destiny 2 is awesome. I wish I could talk about it, but I just don't want to spoil it. That about wraps it up for this review of Destiny 2 anyway. I was going to rate it out of 10, but I figured just an overview of what I thought would actually just suit it far better. I've never agreed with rating scores at the end of a review. It's not always an accurate interpretation of what makes a game good and what makes a game bad, as it's all in the opinion of the writer or the reader, in my opinion. Anyway, if you did enjoy, let me know what you thought of my review. Actually, if you did enjoy or didn't enjoy, let me know what you thought of my review in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. My name's been Zach, you've all been awesome, and peace!
Yeah, baby girl, you're so damn fine, though. Wanna know if I can hit it from behind, though. I'm sipping on you like some fine wine, though. When it's over, I press rewind, though. Talking bands, I got